So, my friends, it is my privilege to introduce our next speaker, Mark Falzon. Some high points from his bio that really struck me. He has built and exited multiple businesses across industries, 4 of which are ranked amongst the 100 most fastest growing companies in Australia. He's the founder of Mad Ventures, a $100 million impact investment platform, and he's also the creator of Metis, a breakthrough diagnostic framework that fuses myth, psychology, and strategic insight. And I had an opportunity to ask him some of my favorite little questions. So something you may not know about him is that from a very early age, he's been a lover of travel. And as a filmmaker, he spent time with ancient Aboriginal tribes, witnessing and capturing their stories and their transformational rituals and practices. Now, laughter is not hard for Mark. He finds laughter in everything, including himself and others, and also finds ways to laugh in the moment of heated arguments. So we appreciate how you handle that. Beautiful, wonderful. Fun is also everywhere in his life with his wife and children. And as far as his well-being, he said, I don't do enough, but he's had a strong meditation practice since youth. So for a conversation about how we're moving from the very complex to the simple, in this conversation beyond the hero, mapping the hidden terrain of transformational leadership, please welcome to the stage with thunderous applause, Mark Falzon!
Thank you, thank you. Who here believes in magic? Oh, thank God. I've got to turn a 1-hour talk into 30 minutes, so I need lots of magic. And the clock started already, so I'm not going to waste any time. Who remembers the moment in their life that led them to being in this room? Yeah? Pretty amazing. I remember the moment in my life. I was a young kid, 9 years old, and I got up to go fishing one morning, and I'm walking across this old wooden bridge and staring at the water and the sun sparkling on it, and suddenly this question popped into my head, and it was, where did your last step go to? And I'm like, what is that? And then the next question was, and where is your next step coming from? And it was like, I'm 9 years old, and I'm thinking, what's going on? And I'm thinking about this, where's the past gone? Does it still exist? Where's the future? Is it already there? Am I just passing? Wow. And then suddenly I realized that I'd stopped walking and I came back into my body in this moment. And that moment was the moment for me that my life changed, that the quest began, the questions that were out there, and it was like, I get emotional when I think about it, because it was like one of those moments that I think we all have at some point. And our quest begins, and we get, as Joseph Campbell says, in the hero's journey, which we all know in this room, I am sure, we get the call to adventure, And the hero's journey is really about the quest. And the quest is really about the questions. What are the questions that we get asked? And my question was, this thing about where am I in space and time? So at the hero's journey, we go from the known world, as we all know, into the unknown world. Sorry about my writing. I practice hieroglyphics, so... and so at some point we get the call to adventure, and then the first thing that shows up is the threshold guardians, as we know. And they're usually the people that love us the most, or the voices in our head that tell us, they're trying to keep us safe and protect us and keep us away from all of this stuff down here, this fear. And what happened for me was, when I came across this work as an entrepreneur, it changed everything for me. It changed the context of my life, because I suddenly saw that all of these trials and tribulations that were showing up in my business were really just opportunities for me to learn and to grow. So who here sees themselves as an entrepreneur in their business? Yeah, a room full of entrepreneurs. So the next thing that starts to happen, I think, as we're on our journey, and we've all had this happen, is we ask these questions. Who am I? And why am I here? And this helped me understand that, to learn and grow. That was part of why I was here. But the other part for me that came through was that I'm here to create. And if you think about it, we are all on what I call the outer edge of possibility. And if you think about the universe and the expansion of the universe, at some point, current theory is it started around 14 million years ago. And it's expanded out ever since. If you think of it like a balloon, we are on the outer edge of that expansion. All of us, right now, in this room. We had a moment that called us in the past, that's brought us to this moment, and we're in the room standing on the edge of what's out here, which is the field of possibility. And we live here. We are the end result of 14 billion years of evolution and transformation and growth and expansion. And it hasn't been easy. There's been galaxies colliding with each other. There's been stars exploding. There's been all sorts of tumultuous activity that's led to this moment. And here we are as human beings, sentient beings standing on the edge of possibility with this incredible ability to learn and grow from the experiences of all the people that have been before us, and to look into the field of possibility and create things. And everybody in this room is a creator. This came from the field of possibility, from this place out here. We, as human beings, could envisage it, we could see it, and then we used our abilities to change this, which is just energy, into matter and create this. And if you think about that, we're all just alchemists. Like we're the end result of the universe exploring itself and looking back and growing and learning and having insights and wisdom, and at the same time we look forward and we can create. And we're all doing this all the time. We are incredibly powerful creators as human beings. So if we're powerful creators, I think you should all have a rubber band on your table. If you could grab them, there might not be enough for everybody, but that's okay, we can share. If we're powerful creators, which we all are, what we need to think about is, what's the process of creation look like? Because if we can understand what the process of creation looks like, we can be even more powerful in creating the future, creating possibility. So if you think about this, and this is Fritzy's work, we've gone from Joseph Campbell to Fritz, we'll jump all over the place today, but if you think about this, you hold the band in your hands like this. And we've probably all done this before, but just hold it for a moment and feel that tension. Yeah? That's what I call creative tension. And as creators, we all sit in that tension all the time. And our ability to sit in the tension and hold the tension and not do what most humans want to do, and that is resolve the tension. And because we don't like the discomfort of the tension, so we want to resolve it. And so what we tend to do is go, here's our current reality on our left hand, here's where we are today, and here's our future potential, here's what we want to create. And as soon as we create this experience between, we'll call it current reality and vision, we get creative tension. And creative tension is an incredible power. It's an incredible force. And when we harness this force to help us achieve our vision, it's what we can do is magic. We talked about magic. But what happens for a lot of people is they go, oh, I don't like the tension. I'm going to resolve it. So they reduce the vision. I want to change the world. Maybe I'll just change my neighbourhood, Like, I can't even imagine changing the world. But There's one other force that's in this that comes into play. Jack, if I can grab you for a tick. So imagine, if you mind to stand up. So imagine you've got this going on, the creative tension, and then in your left hand, and do this with your partners, with your left hand, there's another force at play, and it's doing this, okay? And this is called psychological tension. And this, our left hand is our current reality, and our right hand is the future possibility. So now we've got psychological tension. This is all the stuff that's, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not capable, I'm not all the not enoughs. And so we get into this pattern as human beings, and we lose sight of the vision over here, and it starts to diminish because we put our focus on trying to resolve this tension over here, which is our psychological tension. And so this abundant field of energy we've got here, suddenly, instead of harnessing that energy to create the outcome we want, we do this. We try and resolve the psychological tension. And then we get into this loop. And the loop is, if this, then that. If I had enough money, I could change my business. If I was courageous enough, I could get on stage and talk in front of all of these amazing people. Whatever the fear is that shows up. And it shows up all the time, because we're all here on our hero's journey. We're all doing it all the time. We started, we got the call, we jumped in, we crossed the threshold, we overcame our threshold guardians, and we launched ourselves into the fear, and then we went, figure it out, and we came back. But all the time we're going, if this, then that. If I can resolve this, then I can have that. And what we do is we waste this precious resource we have, this energy, and focus it in the wrong spot. So as entrepreneurs, as visionary leaders, we need to refocus our energy here. And what I've found in my life